All right, it is Monday, May 4th, Star Wars Day. Welcome to This Fan's View. Tonight we have Carl, John, Lauren, Anthony, myself, and special guest Steve Harris. Welcome, Steve. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good,
Very well.
Very good night.
John, what we got for Who Wore It Best?
We got Who Wore It Best. We got the recap from number 5. Donovan McNabb won that game. Match up there. He had a little bit of a runaway there towards the end there for Pat Burrell, which is probably deserving. I think that was much deserving there on that end, even though I'm a baseball guy myself. Tonight's matchup, we got another interesting matchup. We got Ryan Howard for the Phillies. We got Sav Rocca for the Eagles. Andre Moose DuPont for the Flyers, and that Dr. J. Julius Irvin for the I couldn't do my Zinkoff voice there for the 76ers. So I think that was much deserving.
All right, we going around the room?
We are. We got so we got a couple, we got a Hall of Famer there with Dr. J. We got a couple World Series champions or team champions.
And then we have Sav Rocca.
He's the rugby football punter, so he's got his own claim to fame. So,
but he was nice.
Oh yeah.
We had him in the store, and I'm sure Steve and my dad will remember this. He was lost, couldn't figure out where the store was, called us, and said, "I'm out front of this store. WA." Must have never heard of a Wawa in his life. I don't know how long he had played for the Eagles for at that point, but no idea where he was or what a Wawa was for that matter.
That's funny.
Beautiful. So, Mary, who do you got?
I'm going with the doctor.
Doctor?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm a little surprised on that pick.
I know. I'm a huge baseball guy, but I grew up loving Dr. J, so I got to go with him.
All right.
Lauren, who do you have?
I'm going with Howard.
You're sporting a shirt.
Yep.
I figured that was a giveaway.
Yep.
Who do you have, Anthony?
If Dr. J wasn't in, it'd be Ryan Howard by far, but Dr. J, you got to give it to him.
Right. Who do you got, Steve?
I'm going to go Dr. J. Howard's good, but you got to go Dr. J.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Who do you got, Carl?
Ugh.
What was that, Lauren?
I can see it coming.
What
are my choices? Oh, I love Andre Moose DuPont. Come on.
I could have seen that from a mile away.
Who doesn't love the Moose Shuffle? Come on, are you kidding me?
I love that Moose Shuffle.
Seriously, you've just eliminated one of the badass Broad Street bullies just like that, right? Nobody's even giving them any consideration. None.
He's in the running there. He's in the running.
John, he's not even a mention on the board.
I see a lot of Dr. J's up there. I don't.
Howard's not even a mention on the board.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's a hard number. I mean, it is what it is. You go up against Dr. J, you're going to lose.
Yeah. Well, Brian Maloney gave us our Moose one. There we go.
All right.
Sue, who do you have?
Ryan Howard.
There you go. And Brian Brown wants to know if Sav's even going to get a vote.
Somebody voted for Bubby Brister.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 6 wasn't a big number for Eagles players there. I'm going to go with Ryan Howard as well.
Wow.
I mean, without him, the 08 team doesn't win the World Series. Dr. J, we needed Moses Malone or the Super Bowl or the NBA championship. So I'm going Ryan Howard. Even though Doc's the Hall of Famer, and he's going to run away with this. But
I get that, but growing up, he was the reason I watched basketball.
Oh yeah, oh no, he was the original Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, he was the above the rim guy, doing your things. I know, Joe, I'm nuts, but that's me. We know, Dr. J is going to win. You know, he's the man. He's the Hall of Famer. But you got to. I got to be loyal to my baseball guys. So, but it's. I don't know that there's really a. Obviously, a lot of the basketball votes, but I don't know if there's a real wrong way to go there. You got to be a little bit older for the Dr. J guys, for them to know them. You know, Ryan Howard was a big guy for the 08 team. Climb on my back, sick. He told him in Colorado and took him to the World Series. So,
Yep.
Plus, I got to meet him in the airport out in Colorado. So.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You guys want my Dr. J story of meeting Dr. J?
Sure.
Lauren, you remember the event we went to, and who was supposed to be there that didn't show up? Down at the convention center, it was a big card show.
I don't know. How old was I?
I think you went along because I think Eric Snow was supposed to be there.
Oh.
You remember that?
Kind of. Was it some kind of like Sixers thing?
Well, yeah, because it was in Philly, and I believe the card company was supposed to be bringing in Vince. What's his name?
Man.
Oh, jeez.
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter was supposed to be the guest.
Wow.
And for whatever reason, he was a last-minute cancellation. So they brought the Iceman in, George Gervin. And being that it was from Philadelphia, are you guys getting a lot of
feedback?
Yeah.
A lot of feedback.
You guys anybody have TVs on or phones
you guys
on?
need to put your phones away. TVs, phones, because you're getting a lot of feedback.
There we go.
Well, so anyway, I met George Gervin and Dr. J in the men's room together. There I am. There I am with these two superstars in the men's room, and I was like speechless. I'm like, "What's up, guys?" Yeah, it was a big convention. Fan Fest or something down in Philly. This is back in I guess probably the 90s. But he was cool.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's my boring ass story.
Nice.
Well, I think it's probably a nice segue into The Last Dance, and I assume most of us probably tuned in for episodes 5 and 6 last night.
I missed it last night.
They were good.
Yeah.
I think episode 5 might be my favorite at this point. I enjoy the backstory on the sports and that aspect, but I really like the behind the scenes that have really nothing to do with kind of the sports. So I enjoyed hearing about those Air Jordans and that, they wanted to sell $3 million worth over the next 3 years or whatever it was. They sold $126 million. Just those little things like that. So I think episode 5 might be my favorite at this point.
Right. And that was in the first year, that $126 million.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I had a pair of Air Jordans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
I never had Air Jordans.
Me neither. I couldn't afford them.
It's not
Harris?
No, never had a pair.
I did.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Never had a pair.
What kind of sneakers did you guys wear as kids? Because I know Converse. They talked about Converse a lot.
Yeah, the Converse was a big thing. And the funny thing was with him talking about he wanted Adidas to be the sponsor at the time, but they were
because that's what he was wearing all the time.
Right, and he was more comfortable with the Adidas, and he didn't want to. Or Adidas, his agent Falk was saying it wasn't the place to go because they had a lot of turmoil, and that would have turned them around if Adidas would have been able to pull that one off. But yeah, it was, and
So,
the number too.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have a question, Carl.
Go ahead.
So Joe wants to know if you could vote for a number 6 outside of Philadelphia, who would it be?
Who that? Oh, between Musial and K-Line?
Yes.
Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a ooh. I would probably have to go Musial.
Since I got Musial up on the wall here, I'll go Musial as well.
Yep. So
Yeah, that would be a tough one, Mr.
Yeah.
Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just recently passed away as well, Mr.
Yeah.
Tiger.
right.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to go. Stan the Man. I mean, that's a hell of a. Yeah, that's a great question, Joe. Great question.
Yep.
All right.
But, so where I was going with you guys, like, what was your sneaker of choice growing up? I know wore Beta Bullets because they were the cheaper version of Converse.
We had the Kangaroos back in the day, and then that was the one when I was younger, and then of course it went right into the Nikes from there.
Right.
For myself. Yeah, Jordan was right in my high school years. 8th grade going into high school there. So that was the Nikes took over from there.
I think I wore whatever was on sale.
How about
Yeah.
you, Steve?
Nike.
Nike.
Yeah, it was all Nike when I was growing up. Then it went into Reebok.
I think Reeboks was my first pair of real sneakers, other than Chuck Taylor's.
Mm. Yeah.
Lauren?
Tony? Sneaker.
I had some Jordans. I liked a couple. The ones with they were white and they had like it looked like black around the edges, it looked like almost like a mirror. I remember they were like $130. I thought my dad was going to murder me, but I had those. And then after that, when I played in like middle school, I thought it would be funny to get the guys that weren't nearly as big. So I had a couple pair of Marburys. I had a couple. I got a couple pair of Hakeem Olajuwons from Walmart that were pretty cool. But no, Jordans obviously they were the best. But even back then I didn't want to spend $150 on a pair of sneakers. I thought it was silly.
Right. Yeah, I had the original, the red and black ones that made his feet bleed it during his game in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which was funny.
the Air Jordans I had, Dad, they were white, right? I remember that red Cardinals uniform.
Yep, white and red. Yep.
Yeah. Other
High
than
tops.
that, I don't really remember being a big sneaker person. I don't know if it's because I was a girl or what, but I don't really remember sneakers too much. But I definitely had Jordans that felt so big on me. I have to find the photo, but they were some big shoes.
Yeah, that was the style right then when it was going to the high tops because everything was changing over to the high tops at that point. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was so they felt that a little different at first, and of course they made you fly, because Jordan flew.
I don't remember flying. I don't remember flying in basketball, but all right. They were still good. I liked them.
Oh yeah.
So the question I have, because that apparently everybody was into the Converse, back then, and when because they most recently made a comeback, right? Converse.
Yeah.
They have.
A lot of people are now wearing them.
Yep. Yeah, I have a pair of white ones.
I think like anything else, the nostalgia comes back. So I don't think they're ever going to be potentially in the basketball game anymore because
Right.
Chuck Taylors aren't obviously very good for support. They just like how people like how they look. So
Right.
I don't think you're going to see any players wearing it. They obviously have to need to upgrade and get into the basketball world, and they probably are just out of it at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I have several pairs of Chuck. Black, white, purple. I think I bought a pair of pink ones for Mother's Day. We do the breast cancer walk.
Cool. Yeah, I just changed over to the black and white ones. I had the white ones, the old man ones for the longest time.
Carl, just this comment.
I did. Yeah, you know who he is, right? He's from Drexel Hill, but he's our spring training buddy.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's down in spring training with us, and he's bringing up number 6, Granny Hamner.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a few numbers ago?
Yes, he
Granny
was.
Hamner?
Yeah.
Number 2, was it?
I believe it was too.
Yeah, I mean these guys changed uniforms back then, like it was no big deal.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know him at number 2, and I still don't know him at number 6. Sorry.
This poor guy can pick any number he wants. He's not winning.
I go to church right around the corner from me.
Yeah,
When we used to go to mass.
there you go.
On TV.
Yeah.
So what do we got next?
Well, Lauren, the Last Dance. So you were talking about episode 5.
Yeah.
And then it rolled into 6 with the whole gambling and going to Atlantic City for the weekend. What's your guys' thoughts on episode 6?
Well, six was definitely not Michael's best side. That really sort of showed you a side of Michael that wasn't his best moments, certainly. But yeah, it was interesting. It certainly left you on a weird note. I thought the episode was going to end with his father passing, but I guess that must be for 7. But it was, yeah. I mean, it's fascinating to see that he wrote some guy a $56,000 check. He obviously, he might not have been addicted to gambling as he claims, but he definitely enjoyed it and definitely could have got himself into some trouble.
He just
And he could have
Yeah, it was more the competition.
Yeah, apparently.
So do they replay that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think they have it on periodically throughout the week,
Oh,
but then they always play it right before the next 2 episodes are going to air.
so I can watch it next Sunday.
Yeah, I think
7
next
o'clock?
Sunday it probably starts
So-
way earlier because they start with episode 1 and play them all leading up to 7 and 8.
So what I should do is just DVR the whole series, then I can just watch it whenever I want.
Sure.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was fascinating. A lot of good quotes, though. He wasn't going to endorse that guy in the Carolinas because, Republicans buy sneakers too. And, he doesn't have a gambling problem, but he definitely has a competition problem. A lot of good stuff from Michael.
Yeah. And it was funny how you saw the as he said, the bad part of being Michael Jordan, being stuck in the hotel all the time,
Yeah.
with everybody wanting a piece of him.
I can't even imagine.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I think as fans, we expect these players to be on their A game all the time.
Right.
Honestly, I think even when they come in the store, to be perfectly honest, the very first time Brian Dawkins came into the store, he wasn't very nice. And to me, that was a little off-putting. But then you look at that last night and you realize, like, these guys are humans too. And they deal with a lot of extra stuff that we don't even really think about or honestly fathom. And we're just like, why aren't they nice all the time?
Yeah.
And you see that and you see what they have to deal with. And I think it puts it into perspective a little bit. Granted, Brian Dawkins coming into our store wasn't dealing with what Michael Jordan was dealing with, but maybe he was dealing with something else, a little bit more personal. Maybe he just got off a phone call that wasn't that great. But, you know, he wasn't like warm and welcoming the way I expected him to be when we first had him. But I think it just shows that, you know, these guys are humans that deal with things as well. And although we might think, you know, oh my gosh, but it's Michael Jordan, he's still a human too that deals with having to sit in a hotel room because he can't go anywhere.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to shift gears here just a little bit because I know Anthony talked about the big bad Pistons, and there was a lot of animosity with Isaiah Thomas. I mean, they talked about it last night, you know, not making the dream team, you know, just a whole lot of hatred there with Isaiah Thomas. What are your thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah, it's probably deserved. I mean, you can't treat guys around the league like that and expect them to embrace you when it's time to, you know, all come together. So that doesn't surprise me at all. It was probably overblown that it was all, you know, Michael, just like he mentioned. I mean, all those other teams that he played, you know, he hit them guys hard too. So that sort of is what it is. If you didn't want that to happen, you should probably treated people better. So,
Right.
but with like the gambling stuff, you know, anyone that would say that, you know, he couldn't do that or he shouldn't have done that, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, he's playing golf with his buddies and he has the money to gamble on himself. You know, that's not the same as like a Pete Rose or anything like that, not even close. So that argument I don't think is not substantial at all.
No, like you said, and like they were saying that his $10,000 is like $10 to us. You know, so it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you can clearly see he just likes to compete. It's not like he was stuck at the golf course all day gambling on things.
Right.
He wasn't in Atlantic City all the time. So, you know, I don't see anything wrong with what he does. If you could, you know, it's not like he's $2 million in debt. The guy still has $2.5 billion. So I think that seems fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, look how he wants to just bet the $20 with the security guards in the locker room pitching quarters against the wall.
Right.
You know, if you could flip your hat onto your head, he'll bet you on that. If you could.
Well, I think that's the problem in sports all the time. We always want, you know, we talk about like, you know, hoping Mike Trout would be the face of Major League Baseball. Well, sometimes, you know, Mike Trout doesn't want to be the face of Major League Baseball. Some people just are what they are. You know, if they wanted Michael to support a political you know, maybe that's just not him. You know, maybe we should just let him be who he is at that point.
Right. And like they said, that was a flip comment that was on the bus. It wasn't like he, you know, was out in the public. It was on their team bus. He supported the guy giving him a donation.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I mean, he might not have come out and you know, said anything to support him, but he sent him money. It's just
right.
as good.
Yeah.
And Michael was the guy before there was an internet, before everything was huge, that he did have to be like the current player is today. And for all these years, for the last 30 years, other than gambling, no one really has anything on him. So I think he's a pretty good guy for the most part. And
right.
You know, if he's not that nice in public, you know, you see how many people are there. You know, I might not be that nice either after a while. And
what does his gambling have to do with us? I don't care. Gamble all your money away for all I care. It ain't my money.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's not like he you know, there was any like domestic you know, abuse or anything like that. So if he gambles his money away, that's on him. That ain't on me. He's not hurting anybody.
They were just looking for anything to make him not look that great. Okay, you found something. Great. Good for you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like Charles Barkley, you know, everybody in the NBA, they all have big money, like they're getting thrown around like it's monopoly money. Charles Barkley gambles just as much, if not more, you know, probably as Jordan does. So, I mean, it's all for everyone, and it's all relative. You know, it's just their numbers look bigger, and us, you know, average people, we look at it and like, man, I could have used that $56,000 that he just, you know, gave to that one guy, or the 1.8 million or whatever it was that he had to the other guy with the golf games and stuff. And Yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody could use it, but like you said,
And
another commercial.
You see, it really is just about competition, not only with the security guards in the dressing room, but also when Will Perdue was on there talking about gambling for $1 with the group in the front.
Right.
He didn't care. He just wanted to he wanted to compete. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Like you said, and I was just going to bring that up. He's like, I didn't, and they asked him. He goes, "Well, why do you want to play with us? Because we're only doing it for $1." He goes, well, "I want your money in my pocket."
Sure.
That's the whole reason for it.
And I think that proves that he might not have had a gambling problem, because whether you win $1 or you win 56,000, he just wanted to compete against somebody.
Right.
So that just proves that he's competitive.
Right.
But that's like they said on the. I don't know if you watched the Scott Van Pelt afterwards. It was pretty late at that point. I was half falling asleep, but basically anyone that's good at anything is like that. You know what I mean? Like, you want to keep selling more and more and more stuff so that you can do better for whatever business you own or whoever you work for. So some people either just have that or you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So speaking of that Scott Van Pelt thing that he was just talking about, they interviewed Charles Barkley afterwards to get his thoughts on losing the Phoenix Suns and how they couldn't beat Michael and the Bulls and how he didn't have a good first game. But I thought it was fascinating that he made it a point to say that Tom Brady was the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember exactly how the question got up. I just thought it was fascinating that, where they weren't even really talking about that, but he made it a point to say that. And I think that is a huge topic that's widely discussed. I mean, yesterday, on the Carl's Cards Facebook page, we posted some Michael Jordan cards and just said, in your opinion, is Michael Jordan the greatest player of all time? And I mean, people were back and forth with one another. It's fascinating to see how much difference of opinion there is.
Right.
And I think the same goes for Tom Brady being the best football player of all time.
Yeah. I mean, you saw in the stands, you had, Wayne Gretzky was there, Jerry Rice was there, all these other top athletes in their own profession. They all said, "Oh, I want to be like Mike." They want to be him. And
I think that's what Charles. That's what he was talking about. He's met every famous sports person, musician, whatever, and the only two people he's ever seen crowds like that for are Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. Right. And he's probably right.
Yeah, probably the next one after that would be Muhammad Ali. Probably would be the the next great one like that where it had everybody. But yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's. He was everything, in the world. I mean, it was, at that time for sports. I mean, he was so different, and I thought it was, pretty interesting with Kobe Bryant. He was in there as well as a rookie, and facing them for the first time in the All-Star game, and how they in the locker room. I like that part of it too, where they showed in the locker room, like I got Kobe for the first 4 shots, and he's like he's going to take the first 4 shots, and and Jordan was like, well, if he misses the first 4 shots, he's never getting the ball back from me again. and that, and then how they did that was a cool thing. And then also in the Olympics when they shut down Kukoc, and they went after him and for the first game, and it was not so much.
They were teammates. They were teammates, right?
Well, he wasn't at that time on the Bulls. He was drafted by them. He stayed in Yugoslavia, and because of the wartime at that time, so he was still playing for them, and so, but the owner or the general manager was in love with him, so he was at that time was trying to get him, paying him more than Pippen, and so that was the whole reason why they went after him and said, okay, we'll show you how good he is.
Right.
And shut him down, but then he bounced back in the second game for the gold medal, and then he earned their respect as well. So it was kind of cool seeing that how they turned and was like, okay, he came back and fought harder in the second game.
I'm just glad they allowed those cameras in there because you have to understand, if there was no cameras in there, we wouldn't have 10 episodes. It would just be all hearsay. This person says it. This person. I mean, how many stories are that in the sports world that one guy says one thing, one says the other? Well, now you have a camera and you could see it all.
Right.
That's the good part about it.
Well, and I thought, I mean, how fascinating that, he doesn't want to show the Reebok logo because he's got his Air Jordans and his Nikes. And so instead of trying to cover it up in a very blatant way, he drapes himself with an American flag, which how can anybody get mad at that? Nobody can.
Very
but,
smart.
He's so smart in those little ways that, Michael just being Michael.
Right. And that was also cool too. And he had that little right before that when they showed him with the flag, how he was in the car I'm not sure who he was talking to, but how he was saying,
yeah,
we're gonna get this guy, and they don't know what's gonna hit him when I do it.
Yeah, fascinating.
Right.
But talking about competition, if we can switch gears here, unless anybody's got more MJ.
I think Steve Harris has a whole lot of MJ he wants to
Well,
share.
Steve Harris didn't watch MJ, so Steve Harris doesn't even know what we're talking about.
But I didn't watch.
He probably would like to own about 6 Michael Jordan basketballs, though, I'll bet.
Yeah. Does he ever do an autograph signing?
No, he's Upper Deck authenticated.
Okay.
He's exclusive with them.
Gotcha. Because Anthony had sent me an article recently that he turned down $100 million to do an appearance for 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Granted, now part of that appearance meant they were going to use his likeness and his name for other things, so it must have been a promotional thing that was going to last obviously much longer than 2 hours. But part of that was him going somewhere for 2 hours, and he turned it down.
Right.
You know what's funny about that is people will probably blame him and say how ridiculous it is, but I applaud him for that. If you don't want to be bothered and you don't want someone's $100 million, then don't do it. So he didn't want to be bothered. So there's nothing wrong with that.
But he was getting it in so many other directions.
Sure.
Yeah, he had so many endorsement deals already.
Right.
And he just didn't want to water it down. I guess is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, because I don't think they ever said what it was for, but let's pretend it was for some insurance agency conference or somewhere he's got to speak, whatever. Maybe he just doesn't want to be bothered anymore, which is fine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, it's his right to do what he wants to do with it, and if he doesn't need the $100 million, then that's more power to him.
Right. Yeah.
But
Like you said, he probably just doesn't want to be bothered with it. I mean,
Which,
at
Steve,
some point, it doesn't come about the money.
right. And Steve, I'm guessing there are a few players that you wish would have just kind of turned down the money instead of had them come in to do a public signing, because it can be tough sometimes when the guy has no interest in being there in the first place and he's just there for the money.
So, yeah. And I think maybe that's something that came across with the Brian Hawkins thing.
Right.
The
But
first time.
the second time we had him, he was much better.
Yes.
The first time, not so much.
But if you're Michael, there's no win in that situation. You don't want to go in the first place, so you don't want the $100 million. Then if you go and you're miserable, people are going to say, you got paid $100 million. Why are you miserable?
Exactly. It's a no-win situation for him, no matter which way he goes.
yeah,
Keeping in mind his net worth is $2.1 billion.
that's what the B, right?
Just a drop in the bucket to him.
Right.
Like that's Mario Gallo money.
Nah.
Yes,
Not
we
even close.
learned before the show that he only flies first class.
Right.
Exactly. He's got the presidential suite he's sitting in. The rest of the house.
So switching gears here, speaking about competition, tonight, I guess it started 4 minutes ago at this point.
Yep.
The Villanova 2016 championship team versus the 2018 championship team are playing each other virtually on Twitch, which is online, so you can watch it on TV. But I guess there was a lot of trash talking going on earlier today. I didn't catch any of that, but there are quite a few players who overlap both teams, so I don't know how you decided which team you were playing for.
Well, I heard an interesting interview this morning. Phil Booth played on both teams.
Yeah,
And they're going to be able to virtually have them play on both teams.
gotcha. Okay.
So I want to try to check it out, and see the outcome of it. But Go Cats.
Yeah, I mean they can't lose at this point.
Well, I mean, the thing near and dear to everyone's heart, they're raising money for Phil Abundance. That's where the money from this is going.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I know Pat Rafferty was behind putting this together, and I think he is now working for an agency, if I have this correct. I guess he's going to become an agent and represent players. He put all of this together, because he still works with a lot of these guys.
Gotcha. Is that any relation to the Rafferty who played?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kid. Isn't his name Pat? Is that not his name?
Kevin.
Kevin, sorry. My bad.
Okay. I thought it was
Kevin
like his dad or uncle or something.
Kevin Rafferty. I'm thinking of Pat Farrell, or I got their first names mixed up. So it's Kevin Rafferty. Yes.
The car dealership wasn't enough for him?
Well, that's his dad's baby, and I guess he didn't want to, want anything to do with it, I guess. I don't know.
Fair enough. It's all right.
So Carl, who do you think wins that one?
That's a great question. I kind of favor the 18 team.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have went 16.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to that one shot.
I feel like there's more players from the 16 team who went to the NBA than 18.
Perhaps I never really looked at it like that. I mean, there's a few.
Right.
I mean, Brunson and Bridges, and I know Phil Booth's in the G League with Washington right now, but Archie's with the Bulls.
But DiVincenzo's with the Bucks still, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the 18 team. We'll see. What do I know?
Well, I'm going with 16 just to start.
All right. Well, let's take this fans view poll and see who gets it right.
Tony, what are you going with?
So this is not which team's better. This is just who's going to beat each other on a video game, right?
Yeah. So
But
who's
but
better
it's
at video
16
games is more like it.
versus 18.
Yeah, but the guys on the 16 team are playing themselves against the 8, right? Isn't that how it works?
I assume
16
so,
versus 18.
but I don't know how a guy who played on both teams can play for himself on both teams.
Because they're going to split it. I guess they're going to split it up. You know what I mean? Let's be real here. It's virtual, so you can do whatever you want.
Right.
So
All right.
So
All right.
basically, two teams playing video games against each other.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people probably, obviously if you like Villanova, you like both teams, but probably the 16 team, for the most part, people probably favor just because of the memory of winning it and how they won and all that stuff. But in a video game, I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know how that works. So I guess it could be anybody. I don't know. That's no answer. I have no idea.
All right. You're so helpful. Mario, what do you got?
I'll go 18.
Steve?
16.
John?
I got 18 as well. That was the team I was offhand.
All right. And there's a few comments coming in. 1 for 18, 3 for 16. So we'll see what happens.
So speaking of virtual, did you see Brian's comment about the virtual Kentucky Derby, which was moved till September, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
So what was virtual then?
Well, they had the virtual because with all Triple Crown winners running.
Oh.
from previous years.
Yes. Yeah. And then they actually moved the actual Kentucky Derby, I think, to September 2nd or 3rd. I forget what day.
So how do they do that? Do they have a video game for horse racing? How does that work?
I think what they did was they put all their stats in there. I don't know exactly how they did that.
Oh, so it wasn't the actual horses racing themselves.
No.
Okay, because I was going to say, haven't most of those Triple Crown winners been put out to pasture by now? I mean, their running days are long behind them.
I don't think some of them are alive anymore.
Right. Well, that's okay. All right, I got it now. It was a video game. I gotcha.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I don't know who won. Brian, who won? I'm sure you watched it. Secretariat won. There you go. Okay.
That's probably the only Triple Crown winner I could even think of off the top of my head. Wait, no, Smarty Jones. Did he win?
Jones.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
it. I've definitely tapped out after those two.
Yeah, I think
Are we going to mention Don Shula?
You just did.
yeah.
All right. He was a big part of my childhood too, growing up. So I was sad to see him go.
Yeah.
90 years old, the winningest coach in the NFL.
Good. He wasn't doing well, though, was he?
I really don't know.
All right, because I think the last couple of pictures I saw of him, he was in a wheelchair. He looked really frail. So
Did he pass away from the virus, or was it completely unrelated?
they didn't say.
Oh, okay.
I just think it's natural causes. He
Oh.
passed into sleep.
But I'm sure they'll put the virus on there somehow.
Gotcha.
I think you're right, Mario. I think he was in a wheelchair or something with the football or something. Last time I saw something they did some kind of tribute. I thought he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, wasn't it before the Super Bowl? Didn't they show all those guys for something?
Yeah, and he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
The last couple of pictures of that I saw of him, he didn't look too good.
Well, at halftime, they had all the 100 greatest NFL members together.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but he won his the one in this game was in Philadelphia. Was to set the record.
Yep. Big.
Unfortunately.
It's this is horrible. This isn't something you talk a lot about, but with this virus, that we've all been going through the past. What are we, day 50 now or something? We've lost a lot of people have passed away. A lot of football players, baseball players, been a lot of celebrities that have passed away during all of this. And it just brings. I don't know. It kind of makes you sad. You think about these guys. You think of Don Shula and the Miami Dolphins, and a franchise that won so many games and had an undefeated season. And I think the 60 Eagles. Anybody watch that last week? They rehashed that game for an hour before
The parade.
the parade and the celebration after the game, but they rehashed the 60 team. I thought Ray Didinger did a phenomenal job with that.
Yeah, he does.
All those guys that have recently passed away. It's just sad. Sad to see all these heroes, go.
Yep.
Did anybody watch the Nick Foles interview?
I did.
No.
I did.
No, I did not.
Carson wants his trophy back.
Carson, what?
Carson wants his trophy back.
Well, he had to have played to get it.
She's still driving him to the airport.
Oh, please. Anytime, let me know. Sorry.
Oh my God.
The 1960 thing you were talking about, though, Dad, it was funny because Anthony goes, "This Tommy McDonald guy, why is he screaming at the TV?" I go, "Oh, you should have seen him in person." Exactly how he was in person, too. Ask Steve about it sometime. He sat next to him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
All the time.
literally 5-10 minutes with each person, just endless talking. I think that signing went on for hours.
Good guy, though.
Yeah, very nice guy, but definitely one too many hits to the head. Definitely.
Very, very religious and very emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
Mm.
Very.
All right.
But speaking about signings, Dad, should we talk about Wednesday's show?
Sure.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So on Wednesday, we will be discussing, we'll talk about, any relevant stuff, that's happening in the sports world. But Wednesday's show will primarily talk about sort of the memorabilia and the collectible industry. So signings, memorabilia, as you can see, what is popular, what we've done, what we've seen throughout Carl's cards, just different things like that. Obviously, Carl's insight into things and what he's seen, in the 25 plus years that he's been in business, and just different things like that.
I got my mask on.
I see that. So right before the show, and Mario, I apologize. I think we might have missed looping you in on this, but maybe you have something nearby. But
I don't. It's in my other room. I don't feel like walking up to get it.
All right. Well, we all just mentioned about bringing something onto the show to show, getting ready for Wednesday, piece of memorabilia that we liked. So, John, we'll start with you.
Well, I had in special for tonight was the Ryan Howard in the home run derby when he won the championship. So
You guys talk.
Nice.
to go in the themes with the number 6.
Nice.
What is that?
There you go.
Mario?
I did have something.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Stole that from my mom. Actually, I'm sorry. I didn't steal it from her. She gave it to me.
Right.
I was just going to say, if you did steal from her, she knows now.
Right. She definitely knows now.
Hey, look, just at that moment, Jack Broder jumped on.
Look at that.
And look, and he didn't go with Moose DuPont. He went with Howard.
Wow.
I see that. He doesn't even know who Moose DuPont is.
Oh, stop it.
He wasn't alive. He'll be the first to admit it.
Dad, what do you got?
Mike Myers. No, just kidding.
Not even close.
Just kidding.
How many autographs are on that?
A lot.
What's
I
a
don't know.
lot?
30 something. I stopped counting. But it's it's one of my prized possessions. It's a replica mask made by Don Scott out of Canada of Doug Favell and the first ever Starburst mask. And I got a lot of signatures on it. A whole lot of signatures on it. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. I like it. Any opportunity I can to add some more signatures to it, I will. But it's all flyers. It's all flyers, naturally. A lot of my collection's flyers. Just recently started collecting Carter Hart. So if anybody would like to contribute anything Carter Hart to my collection,
Are you paying or are you hoping for a donation?
Either or.
No?
Either or. With the shop being closed for 50 days, I'm kind of pitching pennies right now. So what's so funny, John?
I'm just missing not being there. That's all.
Oh, okay.
John, I miss it too. These mystery boxes, man, I wish you were there.
But no,
a lot of paper cuts on those boxes.
I didn't announce this one, but I just picked up a Carter Hart 1 of 25 autograph card.
Nice.
Ooh.
So I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah, it's my new guy, Carter Hart. I'm sure you guys heard of him.
So how did you get all those autographs on that helmet?
On my mask,
Yeah.
all these, they all been to the store. Why? Is there an inside joke?
Oh, I was trying to get you the plug for it.
No, we're teeing it up for Wednesday.
Oh, we're teeing it up.
Right.
I'm bad at golf. I'm very bad at golf.
Man, Michael would have won on you.
Right.
Yeah, my ass, along with Barkley. But no, these are all guys that have come to the store, right, Steve Harris?
Yes, sir.
Sure have.
Do I have to shake you and wake you up?
No, I'm there. I'm up. I probably
Yup,
had
you're
everybody
right.
sign that mask.
What's that?
I said I probably had everybody sign that mask, unless I missed somebody. I could have missed somebody.
Yeah, you were probably in Vegas for one of them.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's a great. I know we've been talking about that, so we're going to do memorabilia Wednesday night. So if anybody wants to take some pictures, maybe post them on the page. What do you got, Lauren?
What do I have? I have this.
Oh, that guy.
My prized possession. My Peyton Manning full-size helmet, which you and Mom gave me for Christmas, I think 2015. I think is when I got that, but yes. My Peyton
Okay.
Manning autographed full-size helmet. My prized possession. But Tony has something way cooler.
Oh yeah.
So
What's
I
he got?
have this. I can't. There's no face because that would have cost more. So I had him remove it. But now that's Roberto Clemente's wristwatch.
I don't know if you guys
You
can
can't really
see.
read it, but it's his name's inscribed in there.
Wow.
I like autographs like anyone else, but anytime I can kind of pick up something unique like that, that's from someone that I really like with sports, but not necessarily sports related, I like to pick up stuff like that. So
the engraving machine at the store works pretty well, and he can't tell.
pretty good.
Yes. Yep. Just as good as that gravy boat. Yeah. I don't know how to. I can post a photo, but you can. Oh, wrong way.
All right, so I got to do a little business. So give me a minute here because Jack Broder's got an item I'm interested in of Carter Hart. So yes, Jack, I am very much interested. I got to do a little business. You know what I mean? Got to do business.
Hey, do what you got to do.
Right?
Yeah.
And Steve, what is your item?
1950s Whiz Kids came out of the Bolton. My grandfather gave it to me, and then autographed by Robin Roberts and Kurt Simmons, which both were signed at Carl's Cards. But now I just need to get somebody. I don't know if anybody knows anybody that can frame it.
Or at least get you a top load.
Yeah, or a top load. But
I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I got a guy. Yeah.
I'll hook you up, Steve.
That's in pretty good condition, Steve.
Yeah, it's in pretty good. Yeah, it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I have something. I got to find it. I got to find remember where I put it. That I'll bring. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I'll hopefully have it Wednesday. It's pretty neat.
So
Is
yeah.
that a podcast
Wednesdays-
tease?
What's that?
Is that a podcast tease?
Yeah, it's something that I've never seen before. So I'm sure other people have some like it, but it's kind of neat.
Sweet. So yeah, Wednesday show, we'll kind of talk about the industry, some of our best and some of our worst autograph guests, stories from that, memorabilia in general.
So
That have changed over the industry and the time frame since you started in 1995 up until today. So it'll be a good show.
we got to ask Steve Harris to come back Wednesday night because he's been here with us along the way for all of it.
Absolutely.
I thought he was just part of it now. I didn't realize we were asking him. I just thought he was now
Oh,
part of it.
shoot. Huh?
I think that's more than Carl bargained for. I don't think he wants me back every week.
Oh, all right. Well, hopefully he'll come back Wednesday.
Oh, if you want me to, I'll come back Wednesday. I think I've been there since you were down in the phone booth. I guess we could talk about that. I guess we could talk about that Wednesday.
Yeah, that and how we met, how we got started. Because that's a great story.
Do we need to get Dave on?
If we could get Dave on, we could reenact this whole thing. This might be TV worthy.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go. There you go. You talk about the big fat blob.
Lauren, that's not the phone booth, is it?
No, but I do
No.
have that. Hold on.
You should be saving this for Wednesday.
Well, it'll be good Wednesday too. Hold on.
There's plenty more with that. She loves showing off her ugly old man. Hey John, I was 260 pounds in that photo.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that the store, Lauren, or is that when we were doing the shows down in Ocean City?
No, that's the photo booth. I mean the phone
Yeah,
booth.
Phone booth?
yeah, the phone booth, and it was a phone booth.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Look at those cases. They've never been so empty in their lives.
Good stuff.
So yeah, should be a good one.
So it looks like some of the votes are dying down a little bit. Remember to get your votes in for number 6.
Yeah, who wore it best? Number 6. Moose
So-
DuPont. The
So-
DuPont Shuffle. Let's go.
So what are your memorable moments for number 6s for everybody? What for any of your number 6 guys?
Championship.
Yeah, for Dr. J, probably the championship.
Was that the one and only that they got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Womp.
But John, I had a quick question for you. You said the Phillies won't win the World Series without Howard, and I know Moses was a big part of the Sixers, but do they win without Irving?
Well, that was part of it. Not that we're nitpicking here, but Ryan Howard. The Phillies don't win the World Series without Ryan Howard, and the Sixers needed Moses Malone to win the World Series. So
And the
I don't know.
Flyers don't win the Stanley Cup without Moose. Come on.
you don't have a. You can't win it.
Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
Schultz got all the credit.
You better
Schultz
know that
got all the
Barney
credit.
say that.
It'll be interesting, that's for sure. It looks like Dr. J's winning by far here, but
Yeah, I
there's
think
no love for the big piece. But we got still time until tomorrow night. It's almost 24 hours still until tomorrow night at 7:30 to get the votes in for that. But yeah, I mean Ryan Howard, the home run derby, you got the rookie of the year, 58 home runs, in the World Series, in Colorado, just jump on my shoulders and get me to the plate and we'll win. There's a lot of memorable moments. I think he gets a little overshadowed because of that contract, and then tearing his Achilles, and everybody gets down on him a little bit. But that guy for 5-6 years was one of the best players in baseball all time. The numbers that he was putting up, over 120 RBIs a year, 35, 40 home runs a year. 50
He's a Hall of Famer.
I think because he's a little bit short of a Hall of Famer, probably just because of not as many years because of the Achilles injury. But and first base is a little bit hard too because you have a lot of you didn't get as many All-Star votes because of a lot of the talented first basemen as well. But he's a Hall of Famer in my mind. He's definitely super cool guy. You meet him, or just like you see him in different aspects, and he may have a bad day or something. But the times that I've met him, he seems to be down to earth. And, so yeah, it was interesting.
Okay.
But again, Dr. J, he was basketball back in the 80s there, so before Jordan. So
That's why this contest, who wore it best, is actually pretty good. I mean, when you stop and you break it down, the way we've been talking about this with Howard, versus Dr. J versus Moose DuPont versus Sav Rocca. You know what I mean? It's only going to get more funner,
Right.
as some of these numbers, come by. So
oh yeah,
I'm looking forward.
Even a number like 31 is going to be tough. 31 is going to be a real tough number for the sports.
Do you want to tease number 7, or wait till Wednesday?
Number 7 is going to be another interesting one as well. You're going to have Billy Barber in there, and then you're going to have Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got.
Wasn't Bobby Wine number 7?
I was going to say I think Bobby Wine's the Phillies guy for number 7, and then
right, Lauren?
What was that?
You know who Bobby Wine is, right? Number 7.
I feel like I've heard him once or twice.
it's not a drink.
Yeah. I mean, I do like my wine, but yeah, I've heard of him. So, right before we sign off for the evening, we just wanted to announce the Fightin's prize pack.
The winner is Cesar Bolano. Cesar Bolano.
Very cool. Very cool.
He's got to come on down to get his prize. Come on down.
We'll get that announced and get that to him. But then Wednesday night we've got a big show to kind of talk about sports memorabilia. And for anyone who hasn't joined in on the Carl's Cards voting, we are doing an autograph guest showdown. We are working on our final 8 players right now. So we'll be posting a poll tonight, so you should get your votes in. A lot of people think that Bernie Perrant is going to run away with it. So we'll certainly see what happens.
A lot of
He
people
better. He better.
All right, we'll see.
We doing takeaways.
If you guys can do it quickly, because it's already 7:31.
All right. Steve.
Well, Steve doesn't know the takeaways.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
He's
gotta
gotta go
shake him.
last.
You gotta wake him up.
Steve's got to go last. 'Cause
I'll be prepared for Wednesday.
yeah, Steve don't know the takeaways. John, what do you got?
Just that I'm really getting into the Last Dance. I think it really shows the inside of the backstories of a lot of things. You know, just the interactions between teammates with the Michael Jordan story, and you know, just I think I love it more and more. I watch it. It's you know, you see so much more, and just the drive that he had to be the greatest. You know, and like I said, and everybody around him knew it, and the respect that he got from a lot of other players, not even in his own league, but in leagues, you know, other leagues, was fun. It's fun to see.
Dad?
My takeaway is being able to be part of this show week after week with all of you guys. Bringing Steve on board, you know, bringing a guest on from time to time. And Wednesday night, we're going to announce a guest for Monday night of next week. So that's my takeaway. I really enjoy, you know, the interaction with everybody and you guys, you know, bring it every show.
Tony?
So I think you guys should give the virtual world a chance. I know the Major League Baseball thing was kind of hard to follow because we don't know where it's on. But I would much.
They already crowned somebody a winner.
Yeah, I know that's the whole thing's over with. We didn't get to watch it, but I would much rather watch a game on Twitch than I would with that NBA horse competition any day. So anytime that they have, you know, the Phillies, because they show it from time to time, maybe once or twice a week. So those guys the announcers can get the reps in. I'd much rather watch that than anything else on TV right now.
All right, Lauren, what do you got?
My takeaway is that I just found a graphic that shows who's playing for which team for tonight. So you can't play for both teams. So it's the 16 versus the 18, but it's only 4 guys. 5 guys from the 16 team and 4 guys from the 18 team playing against each other. So that's how they broke that down for tonight.
Okay?
And you said that Phil Booth had played for both.
Yeah,
So he's picking the 18 team to play for.
he's smart, man.
Is he though?
I'm just saying.
So
All right, my turn. So my takeaway is talking about collectibles. I forgot exactly how much I have. So now I need to go find it. I packed it all away so I can paint my rooms. Now I got to go find it so I can bring something for Wednesday night. And with that, we'll sign off. See you Wednesday, 6:30, same time, same channel. See you guys.
bye.
V's up.